Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys a old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 20th anniversary. And this was from, in my opinion, one of those first bands, and for me, like one of those first like huge gateway bands for me getting into metal when I was like 12 or 13 or so. This was pretty much, like I said, the band in its prime, and I mostly like their first couple records. But as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into Issues by Korn. This is the band's fourth album, released on November 16th, 1999 through Epic and Immortal Records. Now, this was the band's fourth album, follow-up to their previous album, Follow the Leader, which came out a year prior, which in my opinion is probably Korn's best album to date. But this album, compared to Follow the Leader, it's kind of different. I feel like with this album, it's a lot more darker and also has a lot more kind of like very atmospheric and a lot more melodies compared to like Follow the Leader or even like the self-titled or Life is Peachy. And just like the songwriting, I feel like, and sort of like the band chemistry altogether has just gotten better. Like I feel like they've pretty much matured in their songwriting on here. Well, I think it did also on Follow the Leader, but I feel like they really showcases on here. And one thing to note is just the production. Like Korn always has pretty solid production. The vocals, I mean, Jonathan Davis pretty much stepped up, I feel like, with the vocals, especially has a lot more melody in it. And just, I don't know, just like the vibe that just comes up with this album is just fucking good. The guitar work on this album is pretty great. I mean, Head and Monkey always complement each other. And the bass playing in Fieldy is just, like, he always slaps the bass. In my opinion, one of my favorite bassists of all time. And drumming wise, David Silveira always manages to keep the groove. And yeah, this album, like I said, compared to Follow the Leader, it's kind of like it goes into like a different direction. But it's still the same Korn, but I feel like it's just stepped up a lot. And just the album artwork is really great. This is actually, they had like this contest from MTV back in the day. And this is actually done by a fan named, let me see. Oh yeah, Alfredo Carlos. Yeah, and this album, like I have the actual copy right here, but there's actually, like, depending on like what market you're in or what country, there's actually different artworks right here, and this is actually 3 of the runner-ups. And actually I remember seeing this album artwork, I don't know, in like this old store in my area called Circuit City when I was around, but not anymore. And there's actually, this cool thing is in the booklet that you can actually see all the fan submissions right here behind the band, which is pretty cool that they actually at least showcased that, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now this album has 16 songs, which is pretty nuts, but most of these are kind of interlude tracks, which, I don't know, for me it seems a little bit unnecessary, but I feel like it kind of works. It sort of like goes with the flow of this album. So yeah, starting things off is the song Dead, which kind of starts off with just some very quiet drums and then some bagpipes kick in, and of course Jonathan Davis comes up some really sick singing in there. It's a very little short intro. It's about like a minute or so long, and then we go into the next song being Falling Away From Me, which is actually the first single, and I believe they actually premiered it when the band played themselves on an episode of South Park. It starts off with a very kind of like weird eerie guitar intro, and then the rest of the band kicks in and just boom, hits you right in. And I just like how the verses are kind of like very calm, and then boom, hits you right in the head, and then goes calm again. And just the bridge in the song is just very melodic, and then it just goes quiet again, and then boom, hits you right in there. They're a pretty good song. Next song is Trash. It has some very great melodic guitar work and some good vocals from Jonathan. Then another good song. One of the Korn's, in my opinion, one of their most underrated songs. But I like it. Next song is the song For You, which is another interlude, just very atmospheric interlude. It pretty much just, wow, just really goes really out there. And yeah, moving on to the next song on the album is called Beg For Me, which is just kind of like starts off with some really great, weird effects and then some drumming, and then boom, hits you right in the head. And another solid song. Anyway, next song on the album is called Make Me Bad, which I believe is another single from this album. Starts off very creepy sounding song, but also has a really great chorus that makes you just want to sing along to. And I just love how with this song it just kind of like slowly fades out and then it leads into the next song. It's called It's Gonna Go Away, which is just very creepy sounding. I don't know. It just feels so weird. weird. But then it goes into Wake Up, which just pretty much gets you just pumping. Another great song. Forgive me if I sound a little bit weird, but anyway. Hey, Am I Going Crazy? Another creepy interlude. I don't know. It just gives me like goosebumps every time I hear this song. And then we go into the next song being Hey Daddy, which I don't know. I just like the song. It's just another energy pumping song. And then it goes into the next song being Somebody the Someone. It starts off very quiet, and then I just love how it just hits you right in there with a great intro. And the verses are just very mid tempo, and then a very epic sounding chorus when Jonathan yells. And I just like how the bridge sort of like builds up a little bit, and then the last song just boom boom just makes you want to just punch something. Another great song. And then we go into No Way, which starts off kind of like weird and soft, but I actually love how the bass actually turns out. It definitely showcases like Fieldy's talents slapping his bass. I pretty much love this song. Next song is called Let's Get This Party Started, which pretty much you could definitely tell by the name of the song. It pretty much is a very party kind of like song. Makes you want to just let's go party and shit. Wish You Could Be Me, and kind of like a weird little intro, just very repetitive. I don't know why it's on there. It's nothing I would really come back to. Next song is Counting, which I think is a pretty solid song. Not one of their best, but it's okay. And then the album closes with Dirty, which I believe is kind of like a calm, like the last bit of the song. Song is just very mellow, and then there's some parts that just boom hit you in the head, and then it sort of like fades out with some static, which I don't know why they need to put static on there, but I feel like that's just unnecessary, but that's just my opinion. Now overall, Issues by Korn, pretty much a solid album in their discography. In my opinion, this was pretty much Korn in their prime. Not to say that, although most of their albums after this would be kind of like hit or miss, but I don't know, I think this album is pretty solid. They're really great. So if I do this album a score, I'm going to give this probably a solid 9 out of 10. So yep, that's my review of Issues by Korn, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album. And I'm also, so if any Atlanta's people are watching this, I will also be at 1349 tonight at the 529 in Atlanta, so comes ahead of me. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you all on the next one. And as always, keep it metal.